One.
Henry, how you doing? It's our weekly podcast.
Good evening. How are you getting on? Very nice. Yeah. How are you?
All good, mate. All good. Had a nice weekend, even though the weather wasn't great. Looks like we were both in Weatherspoons by the Instagram stories.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I seem to go to Weatherspoons the odd morning now as well to get the breakfast. But with inflation, they don't. You normally get the breakfast and a cup of coffee for, let's say, €6, but now they're charging an extra euro for the coffee. So, you know, tough times, tough measures, man.
Well, it's kind of funny you say that because just looking at the headlines, and it's like Kwarteng is set to set out the debt plan earlier than planned. So he's the new finance guy in the UK government, and millions to get £324 cost of living cash next month. Mortgage rates rises sharply as squeeze tightens. UK winter gas supplies are at significant risk. This is UK BBC News, by the way, but tax U-turn lifts pounds as borrowing costs fall. So the pound's shot down this week as Liz Truss has come in and changed a few things. So yeah, all positive stories there.
Usual stuff. Well, the one thing that I remember I was they're going on with this energy crisis, and of course, yeah, the prices have went up. There's the problem with the pipeline to Russia, stuff like that. But sometimes I do wonder that they probably just want to keep people in fear, keep people thinking that there's so many problems and stuff. Whereas maybe if push comes to shove, they'll easily just solve the problem. Maybe it won't be as big a problem. Exactly. I think a lot of these problems, if they really want to solve them, they have the resources to. I'd literally say just like that, and they'd probably solve it in a big deal with some other nation for gas, ship it over and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If they don't have spare supplies, then what kind of a world are we living in? But there's an interesting one with the heat waves, and they said you can't use water, and there's not enough reservoirs, not enough fresh water. Well, they haven't built a reservoir in the UK since the early 90s. So, do you know what I mean? That's a very easy solution. Just build another reservoir. I don't mean literally this minute, but plan ahead. Have some down in the pipeline, like we need one every 3 years or whatever it is. So, and then around me, they've been closing. I think I might have mentioned it in one of our earlier podcasts. They've been closing reservoirs in the Yorkshire Dales and things. So it's just madness. It does seem to be pre-planned, ordained, and executed.
Yeah, no, as I said, look, I'm not saying there isn't going to be an energy shortage, but I would just be very surprised if there was genuinely a serious energy issue, because I just think that they have the resources to sort it if they want. Now, as you said, maybe there will be, because in Ireland, they shut down a lot of a peat energy and coal and all that. They just shut it all down. Now, they just shut it down and replace it with nothing. So it's like, even if you want to get rid of it, you'd still keep a skeleton crew on the sites just in case you need it for emergency, but they just shut it down.
Well, forgive me if I'm wrong, but the peat, fuel in Ireland, it's not, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I don't think it's powering that many homes. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a significant problem. It's kind of an eco-friendly one. It comes out of the ground in Ireland.
Well, it's also traditional. It's for a lot of the farmers in the west of Ireland. It's a tradition, being generations handed down, peat farming. It is a big tradition in rural Ireland. And
you don't need a pipeline. You don't need to ship it across the world. You know what I mean? And it smells great. It's a natural product from the land. I know it's a finite resource. It won't last forever, but there's plenty of peat in Ireland.
Yeah, farmers have been receiving a lot of attacks all over for a long time, and the peat attack is just kind of one of many. So yeah, farmers are getting it pretty bad, but I like the farmers,
Yeah, no, I agree. We have to stand up for them, and they stand up for us. Really, they stand up for for all the rights we have. So No, I mean, they're true people, really. They're still connected to the land. They're connected to community. They know the value of things, and they know when to push back when it's too much. And I think that's something that the modern Western man has lost. That sense of ownership of the land and responsibility to protect it and push for the right things. That's what we've got to kind of spread the message, get back to those kind of values.
Yeah, no, the farmers all over Europe have seen. We've seen in Netherlands as well, where the government wants to do forced expropriation of the land, where now they will pay the farmer for the land, but you should not be forced to sell your farm to the government.
No,
I really don't agree with that. I think, if a farmer has a piece of land, if he wants to keep it, no, maybe there's like an extremely rare circumstance where, for whatever reason, a certain farm just needs to be taken, and maybe legally, but like in general, it shouldn't be that they can just do it to any farm. Definitely not.
Oh yeah, and I'm not. I guess you're aware of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation buying up all the farmland in India, and the problems with the Indian farm system. So, and that's been going on for generations now, and they're pushing back also. But yeah, I mean, the Irish farmers been pushing back. The French farmers, I guess every farmer's really been standing up. But I suppose we can move the. It's a very important point. If you've got more to say on it, by all means. I mean,
no, it's just that, as you said, if you have, let's say, 10,000 small independent farmers that provide all the food for the country, they all start getting dragged down in costs, regulations, etc. Then you have less and less and less, and then you've got just these big super farms controlled by some big multinational. Then you're going to have the case where your multinationals are controlling all of the food supply in your country. Now, I personally would prefer to trust my local farmer than a multinational company with the food supply. Now, what the government wants and what other people want is a different thing. But for me, it's imperative that the local farmers maintain control over the food supply. And it's definitely a fight worth fighting. Like the local farmers need to be kept in control of that under all costs, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the whole thing. We don't want monopolies, complete monopolies.
No.
Of course, there's always going to be companies that rise to the top and, have innovative or, let's say, cheaper ways of producing things. But anyway, yes, moving forward. Completely, I agree. We really need to protect our farmlands. That's it, and the farmers are doing a good job of that. Another bit of news, which I was, key news, really big piece of news. Obviously, we lost the Queen in England, and actually, I can't even really find that much in the news now. So finally, it seems to have gone out. But Ringo Starr has cancelled his tour dates after catching COVID. Now, that begs a couple of questions. But first of all, we can't, in Britain, we can't lose another national treasure. We can't be losing two in quick succession. We're struggling. We only got two Beatles left.
Yeah. I didn't even know people are still doing tests, but it's funny because with the COVID thing, as we were saying previously, and, COVID is something that will be looked back on history. Like there will be literal case studies done in the future about what went on during that time. Now, as you were saying there, when it ended, it ended, and the whole media just stopped. Now, one really interesting thing I was listening to, there's this economist called Eddie Hobbs. I was listening to a podcast he did recently, and he said that RTE, which is the national state broadcaster media, the only time they made a profit in like the last 20 years was during COVID. They actually made a profit because there was state-sponsored advertisement. So the state was paying all of the media companies millions and millions and millions to advertise COVID. Which shows that the media actually made loads of money during COVID. So for them, it was financially the best time ever. They've never made so much money than during COVID. It was the greatest moneymaker for the media. So it does tell you that if the media is making loads of money out of it, should you then believe everything that they're saying? Because obviously it's clearly in their interests financially for
Yep.
it to go on forever,
Yep.
forever. So, these are just simple things that, even if someone is, not wanting to dive too deep into things, just think about it. What's in the media's interests? It's in their interest for this thing to be prolonged and for people to be in a state of fear forever, because then you watch them. Really simple concept.
No, I'm with you there. I was going to say a little point, but
But sometimes you just follow the money in general in life. It's like if someone's doing something and you're saying, this is clearly a bit ridiculous, follow the money, if they're making money out of it, then they're probably more likely going to do something that is ridiculous. So, even the media, if you look at the media, for instance, just in another side note is when the Brexit was happening, if you looked at every news channel in Ireland, it was saying UK on the brink, UK going to collapse, UK blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to have the fear. And then everyone was just in Ireland was thinking, oh, they're going to leave the EU. And then once they leave, it's going to turn into like some sort of a banana republic war zone, third world country. And obviously it didn't happen, which obviously anyone with common sense would have thought. But a lot of the general public in Ireland genuinely thought that once Brexit happens, the UK is going to become a third world country, which I was shocked. Educated people saying this type of stuff. I was shocked saying, guys, come on. But it was because the media was saying it. So
well, clearly they can't be that educated unless they're totally believing in like an anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah, but that basically is an educated person nowadays. So
well, cost-benefit analysis springs to mind, and obviously that doesn't mean literally costs, although it can do. It just means weighing up the good and the bad sides of something. What are the good points? What are the bad points? It was not done at any point throughout, and not really through Brexit either.
Not through anything really anymore.
Not through coronavirus. They didn't weigh up anything. The lockdown was never cost benefit analyzed. We were never given any kind of the WHO threw out the guidebook, didn't it? Because it had a guidebook saying you shouldn't lock down. Schools should never close for more than 4 weeks.
Yeah, for respiratory viruses. They said literally before the COVID, WHO, which was the gold standard of advice on health pandemics and outbreaks, they said, do not lock down countries for respiratory viruses. It doesn't make a difference, and it's going to basically wreck your economy. And they just basically threw out the handbook and just did it anyway.
That's it. And the cost-benefit analysis, like you got all these prolonged health conditions from the lockdown.
They admitted they didn't do that, yeah.
But anyway, we don't want to go too deep dive on. Well, we can do, but we're not really trying to deep dive on that too much. But I think that was just something to bring up. I know we're all aware of it. But
we want to move on, but you want to learn as well from these. You have to look back in history, and as ABBA say in their song, isn't it? History repeats itself. It has a funny habit of repeating itself. So, it's like, as I even say, for instance, obviously it's for me because my mum's from Finland, so I'm half Finnish. So I remember my grandmother was always telling me as a kid, that communism is a big threat, and it sounds good in theory, everyone's going to be equal, blah, blah. But when it comes in, it's brute force dictatorship. But still, to this day, and you look all over the world, Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, Soviet Union, every country that goes communist is a shithole. And still, you have people in the West that think it is a good idea. And it shows that, some people just really never learn. I don't even know where to begin with some of this. It's unreal. But it's the same as some of the lockdowns and stuff like this. It's some people would literally support it if you did one tomorrow. And it's what difference is there between today and tomorrow? But I don't understand. It's really, people say, it's a lot to do with psychology, and it would be an interesting topic to really discuss with a really good professional, psychology, because psychology is ultimately the most important thing in life.
Interesting viewpoint. It's certainly very important. But as we were popping east with the start of the question, I thought I've just spotted some more news on the BBC. BBC, the fountain of all knowledge. I must be honest, I do my. I can't remember the last time I watched mainstream news headline. I mean, I browsed the the web, such as BBC, to see what's going on. But it is all fear and all manipulation and stuff. So it does get you down. But anyway, I did notice Mark Hamill was speaking to Zelensky. And he's referenced Star Wars apparently whilst giving him some advice. So I wonder, what was he saying? Like, use the Force? What's his advice for Zelensky?
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, Bono went to visit Zelensky as well, and it was like he just sung a song or something. And I was like, okay. Yeah, Zelensky seems to be a pretty popular guy. He's getting all the big shots to go meet him. But yeah, it's just for PR, I guess. It's all for PR because obviously the West is sending, well, some of the countries are trying to send a lot of money to them. So if you get all of these big celebs to go over, it kind of eases the pressure from the public, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I've got lots of opinions on it, but don't want to say too much. I mean, I love Ukraine, and obviously we send our support to them.
Oh yeah.
But it's just mental, some of the stuff that's coming through, like Mark Hamill. Why would Mark Hamill be in a war zone? I don't get it. But anyway,
it's a tough one, that one, because you see, like, just taking, like, I don't like to take the PC narrative, but like just being really like objective, it's like it is a tough one to call because it's really difficult to know what's really going on down there because there's just so many people with different agendas saying, like, because I read up about that conflict, and we've gone in maybe 6 months now. It's really difficult because everyone's saying everything different, and there's so many different sides to the story and stuff. But at the end of the day, look, I just don't support conflicts in general. And at the end of the day, it's just going to be average working lads going out there dying in their thousands, and all of the big boys will be sitting down nice and secure. And I guarantee you, none of the heads in anywhere, like none of the politicians, their kids won't be going on the front line.
No,
not
exactly.
at all. So they'll send your son to the front line, but they won't send their own. So
exactly. How long have we got left of this podcast, Henry?
I think we still got another, maybe it's not even more over 10 minutes. It comes up as a last 10 minutes. So
that's good. Well, I'll go back to the Star Wars thing. I just bought the Star Wars DVD because that's how old I am. Still buying DVD. £4 for the old box set, and I was like,
nice.
Get that, because like I must be honest, I've seen them, but not too much. So it's like I'll happily watch them again. But anyway, something crossed my mind. It's like even a Jedi needs a guy with a gun to help him out. Now, don't ask me why this has any significance to anything in life, as Jedis are fictional, but well, supposedly. But yeah, like Mark Hamill, who's what do they call him? Luke Skywalker, uses the Force, has the lightsaber, but he's got Han Solo flying around behind him with a gun, like to keep him out of trouble. So even a Jedi ultimately relies on a handgun.
Yeah, no, well, I actually never watched Star Wars. I know that sounds like a bit of a, yeah, I don't know. I don't watch that much. I don't watch that much TV, but
I think 99% of the male population certainly has. But
yeah, I'm literally that 1%.
George Lucas turned it. Well, I don't know if it's just him, but like apparently, like Disney and that, they've turned it a bit weird. So, well, we did mention, didn't we, the new Lord of the Rings on Amazon? I think we mentioned that in the previous episode.
No one watches any of that stuff anymore, man. Like, you just can't watch any modern day movies. Like, I used to go to the movies a bit back in the day, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And I think the last movie I watched was maybe like The Joker or something, because it was
was good, actually. Did you like The Joker?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was okay. I did enjoy it. It was good, but it's just whoa, like modern, like even The Simpsons nowadays is just whoa, like just modern TV and movies is just like, oh my word, like what is going on? It's so bad.
Oh yeah,
they're losing money. They lose money on all these films nowadays, the box office and stuff, or the budgets.
Yeah, well, I'm totally with you because the reason why I enjoyed the Joker was because I didn't really expect that much, and I don't like comic book. I'm not really into the comic books, the Marvel or the DC, etc. But obviously, I know all the storylines. I've watched about 5 or 6 of them anyway, so I get them. But I was impressed actually because I liked how he kind of you could see the fall of the man to the crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Well, you can
it
see
could
where
be.
it's like, you go into a lot of these cities now, and they're just, would want for a better word, they're cesspits, and it's just like this guy's like just a normal guy that I suppose you or I could relate to. It's like you or I. It's like you or me or whatever. You're just going around, and you're just looking around and saying like, "What on earth has gone on here? Like, what is going on?" And it's like, yeah, I can just picture it because sometimes you see like videos coming from New York and stuff, and you're like, man,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like it's like there's just some videos. I was looking there at one day on YouTube, just looking at videos from New York City, and you go into like some of these neighborhoods, and it's like, whoa, like it is not nice. I can only imagine living there as like just a normal person who just wants to go on with their everyday life, and you're just all this crap around you must be insane to be living
Oh
around that.
yeah.
Like especially kids, like young lads. If you're a young lad in like, I don't know, like the Bronx or whatever, like just seeing this stuff every day must be crazy. Like I can't even relate.
Imagine being a young girl. But anyway, and I know you were kind of including them anyway, but what was I gonna fucking say then? Oh shit. I lost what I was gonna say. Well, I just want to mention I've come straight from football. That's why I'm looking sweaty and disheveled. But
How many goals
we
you
thought we'd
score?
get a podcast.
Score a few goals, few
You
screamers.
know what? I think I got one, and I didn't. I played okay, but just wasn't having my shooting boots on today, like every other
Celebrate,
day.
dab.
Uh, yeah, so I'm trying to think. Nothing of note really happened.
Nah,
But
well,
yes,
exercise is always good. I like it. I had a hockey match on the weekend as well.
did you play for Finland then?
Oh yeah, that was another. Yeah, I played European Championships for Finland in hockey. So that was fun. It was nice in Poland. Because obviously my mom's from Finland. So I emailed the coach like 2 years ago, being like, "You want to take me for the team?" And the coach is actually from Belfast. So
Really?
yeah, which was
That's mad.
I was like couldn't believe it. So yeah, we got 10 minutes left. It says there, but anyway, he emailed me back. He rang me, and we're at a chat. He knew the team I played with and everything, and he just said, "Look, do you want to play?" Says, "Yeah, obviously. It's a good opportunity." So yeah, we had the Euro Championships in Poland. So there was 13 teams. We finished 10th, which was good for us. Finland's, look, it's not a big hockey nation. They only have 5 teams in the entire country. So, to finish in the top 10, which meant you stay in a top flight, was a good achievement. Like you got to be
That's
realistic in
amazing.
life as well. I think that's a good thing, because sometimes it's like you even see with the football in England with the managers, like you have a crap team, like, well, not a crap team, but a team that is not like, let's just say, I don't know, let's say for instance maybe like Bournemouth. Like Bournemouth will be like low table in the Premier League, and then they like sack their manager. But it's like that's being low tier in the Premier League is probably overachieving for a small club like that. So sometimes people have way too high expectations. Like, I'm not saying have low expectations, but like be a bit realistic. So like for us, finishing 10th out of 13 and staying in a top flight was a good achievement. And like what I liked about the team is that the manager was quite realistic before the tournament. He even said to us, like, "Look, guys, we're not going to win the tournament. Like, let's not pretend we're going to win a tournament. We're not, and we're actually going to get our asses handed to us in some games." But he mentioned the key games, which was, I think, Turkey, Sweden, and Cyprus. Those were key games where we had a chance, and we did okay. We did well in those games. We got some results. So I like the way that he was being totally honest, is saying, I just like that, where it's not like we're going to go out there and beat Netherlands. No, we're not. Like, and we were just saying, go out there, give it your best in those games, and then target the key games, which I thought was good management. And I really respected it, because I'm sure there's some teams going in there saying, oh, it doesn't matter how big they are, we can take them on. It's like, come on, you're only going to set yourself up for failure. But anyway,
that's an interesting mental concept because San Marino are playing. I was going to say England because they play England quite a lot, but yeah, someone like England, Italy, whatever. They're obviously not going to really the
no,
chance of even
you're not going to win.
yeah. So it's like, what would you say there? I guess you just say, this is what we need to do. This is how we can stop them. This is how we can attack them.
Yeah,
And then you just go, do your best, guys. Don't let your heads go down if we're 3-4 down. Just keep on
correct.
going.
And that's what he said, because as I said, just not cutting across, but like we did get hammered to Netherlands, but he was saying that like in the tournament, even before the tournament, saying like, if you get a really bad result against some of the bigger sides, like don't start fighting with each other. Don't start getting angry with each other, because look, you're playing against guys that are literally Olympic. Like Netherlands had one guy in their team that had won 3 Olympic goals. You're playing against literally the elite of the elite globally. You're from Finland. You're not going to be competing at that level. So what you have to do is go out there, give it your best, empty the tank on the pitch, give it your all. That's what we did. And look, these guys are probably like the most talented players in the planet, so that they're going to win. But it's just about putting your best performance out there. And then once you do that, it means that you're not really that in that low spirits going into the crucial games where you have a chance. So it actually is important to, like, because if you're going San Marino saying, right, we can get a fucking result here, hold them to 0-0 for half time, and then you're down 4-0, then everyone's getting really pissy. And yeah, like the players know themselves the standard that they're at. And again, yeah, as you said, if England are playing San Marino, San Marino have to be realistic about it and say that maybe, let's say they have Estonia in the group. That's a game then where realistically they can actually give them a bit of a game. But against England, it's just about not getting embarrassed too much, not getting too humiliated, and just putting in a good level of performance and trying to string a few passes, maybe win a corner and not concede too many.
Well, I've got a conspiracy alert for you, but just quickly, I'll just say Munster got their first win in the United Rugby Championship.
Yeah.
It's good on them. I like Munster. But yeah, there's conspiracy alert. So apparently there's, and I know they've been talking about this for a while, but on the conspiracy tables they're starting to talk because the nuclear threat from Russia to Ukraine specifically, or Western Europe and the whole of Europe. So yeah, we've always known about that, but there's the conspiracy talk is that it might happen, whereas previously it was kind of like laughing at the idea of it, but now it's starting to talk. Now I've got no knowledge on the matter. I don't really have a strong opinion other than obviously I don't want it to happen. But yeah, I do think it's a bit of a conspiracy, but obviously it's possible, and it is the murmurings are coming that it might happen.
Well, you see, the thing is that, particularly Russia, I think if you are a Russian leader, strength is one of the main qualities that is respected and that will keep you in office over there. So you have to be strong, tough, and powerful. And, if you're Russia coming up against Ukraine is a lot smaller nation, like a lot less, it's a smaller country. It's less population, less people, less money. If you're the Russian leader like Putin, like your public is expecting you to get a win, and Ukraine has really been brave. They're hard people over. As I said, I was over there like last summer, and they're tough people. Like they will go to the end. So you're not going to break them down easy. They are tough people in Ukraine, and they will keep on fighting. Just like the Finnish people, anyone on the Russian border that's had conflicts with them in the past, etc., are tough people. So, it could escalate. Like it could, as I said, I was saying before the war, I'll be honest, I was wrong. I said it's not going to happen. It's a pot shot. I was saying no way. Like I was saying no, it's not going to happen. It's all talk. And I'll admit I was wrong. And sometimes we should listen to people on the front line. And some people on the front line, they know the best. I don't know the best. I'm here in Ireland, in Cork. I don't know the best. The people best to ask are the Ukrainians on the front line. And these people, I'm pretty sure, are saying that this could get really, really nasty. And as I said, I've learned that anything can happen in this world, and it really
Yeah.
can. Like Leicester won the Premier League, so anything can happen. So people need to be like, I genuinely thought I'm in my life, I'm never going to see a war in Europe. I genuinely thought that, and I was wrong. And now I need to just be humble and admit that anything else can happen as well. Like I never thought we'd be locked down for 2 years. So yourself,
Yes.
Connor, anything can happen out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing for certain in life, change. And that's it. I think we're not far away from another change, big change. I don't know what it will be. I was thinking the other day, obviously about 100 years ago, it was World War One. And then of course they had World War Two just 15 years after. So, um, you know, I think that could be something in store for us. And I think the timelines are more sped up these days because, um, with technology, things happen like that. And we know they're holding back technology. So the AI technology they'll have, the robot technology that's available is just unreal. So the possibilities are endless. We can't even fathom them. AI will further develop the possibilities of creation and intelligence. So who the hell knows?
Well, that's the thing, and I think it's a respectful decision to take. That look, you can make predictions, you can think things, but ultimately things pan out the way they do, and none of us know. We obviously just hope for the best, and you hope that you have competent people in decision making roles. You like to hope that, but
Yeah.
sometimes when there's people, like when there's wars and stuff, like all it takes is like for, let's say, one of Putin's relatives or something happens to them, or same on the other side, and then it becomes personal, and then it really kicks off. But I said that we're into the last minute now. Just let you
Extra
know,
time.
extra time. It's going to be
No, I'm
penalties.
joking. Yeah, penalties. Well, good. I mean, I really enjoyed that chat today,
Yeah.
as always. Um, yeah. I don't. I think just quickly because I know we don't have long. Um, we're really positive people, and I know we're talking about negative things and maybe dwelling on certain subjects, but I think it's important to talk about it. Let's face it. Who else is talking about it? Who else is talking about it online? But yeah, just to pass that message back across the channel to everybody. You know, keep your spirits up,
Oh
keep
yeah.
positivity, do the right things, eat well, sleep well, diet well, exercise well. Not much more better things you can do in life.
Oh no, there's a good life yet out there, but